What's up guys, it's Amanda. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. Happy Artsy Fartsy Friday. For those of you that don't know what that is, if you are newer to my channel or if you haven't been around since the early days of YouTube, Artsy Fartsy Friday is basically just what I call my weekly art videos. I upload every single Friday and I use the hashtag Artsy Fartsy Friday to sort of tag it on Instagram. It's just something I've been doing for almost 4 years now, I think, which is really crazy. But I've been on YouTube for a little while, and I recently hit another pretty cool milestone where I surpassed 4,000 subscribers here on YouTube. So that may not be a big deal or a big milestone to some of you, but it's a really big milestone for me. Every time my channel kind of hits another growth spurt, I'm always reminded that I love what I do and I love creating art and I love making YouTube videos, and doing it the genuine, authentic way can take a lot of time, but it is always well worth it because I have such an amazing support system when it comes to my artwork, and that's you guys. So I love and appreciate all of you, in case I haven't said that recently. And welcome to my channel if you are newer here and you are one of my more recent subscribers. I hope you feel at home here and like you have a community here with me on YouTube. Kind of a weird tangent and kind of a weird way to start the video, but if you are unfamiliar with what is going on screen, this is one of my Zodiac illustrations. And this is actually the 6th one that I've done out of 12. So I'm halfway through this project, which feels so surreal. I don't even really know what to make of that, so I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a check-in in this video and talk about this project for those of you who are new and maybe this is your first time seeing this project, and also just check in with myself about how I'm feeling. This is my first time doing a project of this size, so I just wanted to kind of do a little bit of a self-reflection type thing in this video. Hopefully you don't mind. I'll kind of just quickly go over the illustration itself and just get the practical stuff out of the way. I am using Copic markers. They're an alcohol-based marker, and I have about 200 or so markers in my collection that I pull from. I don't really have a limitation on how many colors that I use, though I do try and repeat colors when and wherever possible because that kind of plays into creating a cohesive color scheme. That is something that if you are interested in, I would be happy to do a more in-depth video on that and kind of my whole coloring process. In fact, I've been meaning to do a real-time coloring tutorial for a while now. Hopefully I can get to that this summer, and that'll kind of, that's another point that I want to touch on a little bit later. And the characters in this video are Gemini, obviously the two twins on either side. They were featured in last month's illustration as well, and then the new character this month is Cancer. Now I was really excited because Cancer is my zodiac sign, and so obviously I feel a very strong connection with Cancer. Cancer is a sign that's ruled by the moon. I have a really strong connection with the moon. I feel like it's a symbol that comes up in my life a lot. It's a water sign, and I really like getting to play around with water signs. I really liked this month. I've been looking forward to this month for a long time, and I had a lot of fun. I also live streamed this over on Twitch. Now that it's summertime, I am planning to do a lot more live streams over there, so if you aren't following me over there already, I would highly recommend following me. I do plan to live stream a little bit more regularly. Wednesdays seem to be pretty good days. I might try and hop on a couple of streams on Fridays or maybe Tuesdays as well. Just trying to get as much art done now as possible just because I have this break from school right now. So yeah, just kind of all the formal announcements out of the way. Let me talk about the Zodiac series, or the hashtag Zodiac project as I've been calling it on Instagram. So if you kind of want to see the whole process unfold, you can search that hashtag. This was something that I'd been thinking about for a long time at the end of last year, and when it came time to actually starting the project, I kind of felt like I just went for it and maybe got in a little bit over my head, and I was a little ambitious, and I think I rushed myself into this without really thinking a lot of things through. I had done a lot of planning for the initial character designs where I planned out at least the first 5 or 6 characters really well, and I had a clear idea of the direction I wanted to go with those characters. But when it came down to planning the individual pieces and the colors and the composition, I kind of just decided to wing it month to month. That's something that, looking back on it now, I don't know if I would do it the same way again. It's been a little bit stressful to plan out these pieces as I go, and as I get further and further along into the project, I'm realizing that I'm going to have to pick up the pace a little bit and get ahead on the illustrations just to make sure I have the calendar done on time and ready for 2019. So it's getting a little bit stressful now that it's the second half of the project. And while I'm definitely very, very proud of the work I've created thus far, I can already see things that I would do differently if I were to take on another big project like this again. And I do plan to do big projects like this in the future, and I anticipate that every time I do them, I will get better. I think something that's been a challenge for me in some way is the amount of planning that has to go into a project like this. For someone who's not used to planning out their artwork, it was very overwhelming. And I think it's still something I'm getting used to. And I actually find myself missing the act of drawing more impulsively. And recently there was a tag going around on Instagram where you look at your art from 2 years ago, 1 year ago, 6 months ago, 3 months ago, and now. And when I looked at the art from this year, all I've accomplished is this project. I've done a few other illustrations here and there, but I look at them and I'm not super proud of that work. I feel like I improve so much better when I devote my time and energy into just drawing for the sake of drawing and practicing things because they're fun, and doing sort of these small illustrations really just gives me a lot of room to practice and grow. And while doing these larger illustrations has definitely pushed me out of my comfort zone and challenged me a lot as well, I find myself holding back. Because the illustrations in this series are detailed and larger in scale and have more advanced, poses and characters involved, I find myself not wanting to experiment too much. I've played around a lot with backgrounds, and that's probably been the extent of my experimentation. I've definitely challenged myself to use more reference and try new things, but I still feel like my art is kind of stagnating a little bit, and maybe I'm being too harsh on myself. I probably am. But I don't know. I'm just kind of feeling like I haven't been allowing myself a break from this project. And it sort of puts me in a weird place because on the one hand, I know I need to get ahead in this project and make sure that I have the illustrations done before December. That way I can start formatting the calendar and promoting it. But at the same time, I also want to do so many other series and other artworks. And it puts me in a tough place because I don't really know what's best for me as an artist and what's best for me as a content creator and a business person. It's definitely a balance, and I don't know how some artists out there do it. It's definitely a struggle, and I don't know. I've just really been feeling kind of stuck with my art lately. I want to show more than I'm capable of showing and do more. And maybe I'm being a little overambitious, but I think seeing all of the artists out there on social media all the time definitely puts a lot of pressure on me to be more than maybe I am capable of. I'm sure this is something a lot of you can relate to and something a lot of you have experienced before. So I would love any advice on how you've overcome this sort of struggle. And if you've done an extensive project like this before, What were some of the struggles that you ran into and some of the obstacles that you encountered, and how did you overcome them? I would be really interested to know, just so that I can kind of anticipate any other obstacles that I may run into. But that's sort of just my thought right now. I'm really looking forward to the rest of the illustration in this series. I do not regret starting this series at all. I'm very happy I did. I definitely think they're some of the best pieces that I've created this year. I'm just a little disappointed that they're the only pieces I've created this year. I don't want to lose myself in this project too much, and hopefully you guys understand that. However, one thing that's been really cool is that this is an original concept design. They're my, original character concepts. They are, my original sketches and my original illustrations. And seeing you guys love this series and love these character designs, it's really motivated me to, at the very least, keep focusing on original concepts, because you guys seem to like it. And it just reinforces to me that my ideas are good and people will like what I create. So it definitely makes me feel a little bit tempted to dabble more into creating original characters and original stories. And I don't know, we'll see. So there's still so much work left to do in this project. I'm halfway done now, and I can look back at the 6 illustrations that I've done, and I can definitely see the improvements, and I can see the hard work that's gone into these illustrations, and I cannot wait until the project is done and I have a completed calendar to look at and sort of remember this as my first attempt at something really, really big. And it won't be perfect. There's going to be things that I'm sure I will look back on and cringe, but it's going to be such a cool learning experience for me, and it's going to be really, really cool that you guys are following along with me and learning with me. So yeah, kind of a weird voiceover today. I just sort of wanted to regurgitate all of my thoughts to you, because I have a lot of them. Just some other news. I'm going to be moving in the month of July, so things are going to get a little bit crazy, but on the horizon are some very, very exciting changes that are going to be made to my Patreon, to my online store, and just to my business in general. So stay tuned for announcements and other exciting things happening there. Also, I'm going to be attending Saturday of Anime Expo, which I believe is July 7th. So if any of you are going to be in LA attending Anime Expo, definitely hit me up, because I would love to meet you and hang out with you. And I'm also going to Sunday of San Diego Comic-Con, so if any of you are going to be there, definitely hang out with me as well and just say hey. I'm just going to be an attendee. I'm not going to be, selling my art there or anything. But I would just love to meet you guys and hug you guys and say hey. But anyway, if you're going to be there, let me know, and so that way we can kind of coordinate. But that's it for today's video. I super appreciate you guys watching. If you want a print of this, you can check out my Store Envy and my Redbubble down below. But that's it for me. Take care, have a great weekend, and I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye!